Hey folks, how's it going? This is Siddharth here. Please subscribe to my channel to show your support, and let's get connected on Instagram and Twitter. I have put the links in the description below. So today I'm reviewing the Polo 1 liter MPI. Basically the Polo comes in two variants, that is the 1 liter TSI and the 1 liter MPI. This one is the Highline Plus variant of the 1 liter MPI, and actually this is the pre-facelift version of the car. On the newer one you get new grills which has a hexagonal mesh pattern instead of these slates, and you get body skirts on that one other than this, and you get a new LED tail lamp on that one. It's raining like anything here, so let me show you what all it has. On the back you can see it has reflectors, parking sensors, and on the tail lamp on the left hand side you get reverse lamp, and on the right hand side you get fog lamp. It has got defoggers, rear wiper and washer which is integrated in the high mounted stop lamp, and the boot capacity here is 270 liters, which is good enough for a car of this side. I think it has eaten up some space from rear. I'm going to show you that. So coming to the rear, I think 2 in the rear would be fine and it is perfect, but cramming in 3 here would be injustice to all 3 of them, because there's no space, especially considering that there is a transmission tunnel running through. There are 2 rear AC vents there with a bottle holder and a 12 volt charging socket. The seat is not 60-40 split, but it is fully collapsible. Now coming to the front, we get a cooled glove box which has a lamp in there, and it's really good. On the sun visor we get a mirror on this side, infotainment system which is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and MirrorLink compatible, 5-speed gear lever, handbrake which has chrome tip finish, and power windows on all 4 doors, and all of them have one touch auto down function. Now I'll come to the driver's side. I'll show you what all it has. So guys, now coming to the interiors, the interior has been the same for many years now. Earlier it had a black and beige interior scheme. Now it has got all black interiors, and I think this one looks pretty sporty. Now it has got some silver accents in the aircon vents, and also besides the infotainment system. Now coming to the right hand side, we have got power window functions and lock unlock and ORVM functions over here. This is the headlamp switch, and in the center we get instrumentation console where it is quite readable and it looks good. I'm going to show you the whole thing. So the center screen, the 2-inch screen, tells us about the trip meter display, distance to empty, temperature, and average fuel economy, average speed of both those trip meters. Actually it has got 3 trip meters. The first one here, this is the odometer, this is the trip meter in there, and this is the engine running time actually, and this is the engine temperature. This is the external temperature. The speed limiter actually has limited to 100 kmph, so it gives a buzzer or warning at that time when we reach there. This is the speed that it shows. On the right hand side, the speed which is showing, that only it displays there. This is the average speed of trip 1 and trip 2 trip meters. Actually what happens is, the one that's here, the trip meter 1, it resets itself after like 8 to 10 hours, and whenever you're taking out a car you need not adjust your trip meter to 0, it does it itself. Now the steering is a flat bottom beautiful steering wheel. It is leather wrapped and it houses controls for media player and the instrumentation controls, and we have cruise control settings here, this one, and these are for wiper settings. The infotainment system here is Android Auto and Apple CarPlay compatible. So guys, I was telling you about the media player. The media player screen is always on and it shows you the clock all the time, and now if I switch on, I have connected it via Android Auto. You have to put this cable in and connect it connected to your phone all the time to access Android Auto or Apple CarPlay or MirrorLink for that matter. MirrorLink, by the way, is only available on selected phone companies like Apple and Samsung. For example, I am using OnePlus, so it is not accessible. MirrorLink is not accessible for OnePlus. It's only available with the partnered companies. I'm just gonna show you the sound quality of the media player. Maps. Put anywhere.
Head west on Prathamesh Park Road toward Banner Balawadi Road.
And coming to the main screen of Android Auto. By the way, we can also check news from here. Let's see if it will work.
Here's the latest news. Continuing Times of India top stories at 1:15 p.m. today.
Is being reported from Galwan. Mazboot Bharat rattles Beijing. Now we've been told that Chinese troops have been pushed back at the LAC and their tents have been dismantled. So disengagement at 3 friction points at Galwan.
We can also control it from here.
Let's go across to our national affairs editor.
From India Today news headlines at 3:30 p.m. today.
So guys, the Polo basically comes in two engine options, that is the 1 litre MPI and the 1 litre TSI. The 1 litre MPI, which we are driving right now, produces 76 bhp and 95 Newton meters of torque and is mated to a 5-speed gearbox. And the TSI, the turbo variant, produces 110 bhp and 175 Newton meters of torque and is mated to a 6-speed gearbox, which is also powering the Vento and the Skoda Rapid now. Now at idling, the car is hardly audible, and for a 3-cylinder engine I think it is really very refined, and the sound damping also has been done very well on this car. And driving this car, you will realize that it lacks power in the initial stages, especially in the first gear. It takes off pretty well, but then the power tapers off pretty early, and the gearing is set such that you will be prompted to upshift very quickly. And you will realize that it doesn't have enough juice, and also in city traffic you may want to be in the lower gears, as you will be hunting for power, and it does not pick up as fast as its 4-cylinder counterparts. So far that's the story in the city. On the highway it feels like a completely different car, because the mid-range and top range of this car is pretty strong, and it takes off very quickly in 3rd and 4th gears, and it has a good amount of torque spread in that range. Also this car on the highway feels almost like a 4-cylinder car, because the momentum comes into play. You see, what happens is, in a 4-cylinder car, you see half rotation of the crankshaft is 180 degrees, and that 180 degrees of power stroke is happening at least in one of the cylinders in a 4-cylinder car. So if we take for example, if cylinder 1, the power stroke is tapering off in cylinder 1, cylinder 2 picks up right from there, and thus this will happen in 3rd and 4th cylinders as well. So if you see a power delivery graph of 4-cylinder engine, there are no gaps in between, there is no lag, and there are no overlaps as such. That is why the 4-cylinder engine is such a big hit, because there are no gaps in it, and also it is good on fuel efficiency. Now when it comes, what we are doing in 3-cylinder engine is we are knocking off that 4th cylinder, and that 180 degree of power delivery, that gap we are experiencing there, that gap is now distributed amongst these 3 cylinders. So now what we have is, what we are experiencing is 180 degrees of power stroke, 60 degree of silence, 180 degree of power stroke, 60 degree of silence, and so on. This happens again and again. So this we experience in the city, because there is not much momentum, and thus you have to rev it harder and harder, and even if it doesn't work, you will have to shift it in a low gear, and again you have to rev it harder. That's why you feel that the engine behaves in a lethargic manner in the city. But on the highway, especially, the car is on the heavier side, so it helps, and due to momentum you won't feel that it's like a 3-cylinder car. Also, the ride on this car is very comfortable. It is very planned, and it soaks up the undulations pretty well. those sitting at the back may not be comfortable with the space they have got, but at least they'll be happy with the ride and also with the rear AC vents for sure. The AC also cools down the cabin pretty quickly, and I think it is pretty strong. And also the steering setup is very nice on this one. It has good weight to it, but it is very easy to drive in the city, and also as much on the highway. So guys, what it lacks in punch and power, it makes up for it in fuel efficiency. This car gives you anywhere up to 14-15 kmpl in the city with all 4 occupants and AC on in full swing. And also on the highway it will give you anywhere up to 19.5. That's what I have got at least, because the very nature of the 3-cylinder engine is to be frugal on fuel efficiency. So guys, I think overall it's a really good package. The engine may seem lethargic initially, but it's not that bad. Also on the highway you will not feel that much of a difference. It's good on safety, comfort and features. Also it feels plush, and the design is such that it will age gracefully, which it has proven it over the years.